Hey YouTube, it's Will. Snow White trailer is out. A lot of opinions floating around. I'm ready to spread a little light and joy on it. Let's go. Here we go.
This was my father's kingdom.
Rachel.
A place of fairness. But the queen changed everything.
Here's Gal.
Take him away!
Your Majesty,
What did you say?
Huntsman.
the people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this
Don't we need kindness?
opinionated.
All right, so couple things that are working against this movie from the beginning is this was one of the most popular children's cartoons ever, right? That a lot of us grew up with. If we pop over to Wikipedia, it came out in 1937. It was $1.5 million budget, highest grossing film of 1938, highest grossing animated film for 55 years. All this stuff adjusting for inflation. It won Academy Awards. It won Oscars. The Library of Congress deemed it culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant, becoming one of the first 25 films for the preservation in the National Film Registry. It is also ranked among the greatest 100 films, right? That original cartoon that a lot of us grew up watching. So, this film will not be as good as that cartoon. Period. None of them are, right? The live action Aladdin wasn't as good as the original Aladdin. The Frozen 2 wasn't as good as Frozen 1. Iron Man 3 wasn't as good as Iron Man 1. The X-Men movies weren't as good as the X-Men animated cartoon series a lot of us grew up watching. The original has an essence. It has something palpable that hits your body in a way that it can't be repeated, right? Sequels are never the same. Don't try. It's apples and oranges, right? So going into this film, you've already got that, right? It's not going to be as good as the cartoon. Don't worry about it. Move on, right? The original Hobbit, if any of you guys ever watched that, the cartoon Hobbit was so much better than the Hobbit that came out a few years ago, right? But they're completely different. Technology's changed so much between those two films, right? So let's move away from that, right? That's one thing working against this film. The other thing working against it is the fact that it has Disney on the label. And there has been an attack on Disney in politics and in the news for a long time because Disney has tried to do what? Disney has tried to maintain its cultural and historical significance. Oh, it has family values and it doesn't appreciate the traditional family. It is trying to appreciate everyone's family, and it takes risks. That is something that Disney has done since it was founded. It tries things. Does everything land? No, right? They've had flops throughout the years, but there is an attack on the brand of Disney that's honestly embarrassing. Let's be honest, right? It is embarrassing. It's too politically charged. So before I keep playing more of this, if you're going into this trailer wanting to not like the movie, wanting it to fail, well, that's what you're going to get. If you bring hate into the viewing experience, you're going to hate it. If you bring joy into the experience, you're going to enjoy it, right? I like Disney. I still like the company. I still like what they stand for. I still like fairy tales. I still like watching cinematography in action and seeing CGI interact with live action. We do it all the time. All the stuff on YouTube right now is all these AI hybridized, animated, pull this stuff to get completely fake stuff anyway. So let's just enjoy it for what it is, right? And then what I'll also point to, a lot of people are having a problem with the fact that they altered the story. Well, if I go back, I just want to make sure I get it right. 1812 is the original story. Not 1937 cartoon Disney. No, 1812 German fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. That's the original. So there'll be a few points in here where I've seen that some people have pushed back on the movie and parts of the trailer and things, how it's not original. And I have the fairy tale. I have from Grimm, so I'll pull it up and we'll see how true it is to the original. Let's keep going.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, majesty.
CGI mirror.
The lovely maiden I now behold.
I look at you, and I just
Kindness.
want to be the fairest.
So a lot of people, I'll pop into the casting here. People didn't like Rachel because of a lot of the comments that she made. And should she have made them all or not? I don't know. She was 17, 18, 19 years old. We have all said things that we shouldn't have said. Our politicians have said things that they shouldn't have said. Let's remember that as well. There's a lot of people who are upset with Disney and Snow White who also voted for Donald Trump. And they know more about the Snow White political lore than they do about some of the abusive and hateful things that Donald Trump said and the policies that he is wanting to promote when he gets in office. So let's be a little careful here on who we're attacking based on the information that we have. It's kind of embarrassing. People have said that Gal is not a good actress. I don't know how you can say that. I remember people said that Kristen Stewart was not a good actress in the Twilight films. Well, if you remember back, both of these actresses, they're trying to play a very awkward character, right? Bella in Twilight and the evil stepmother in this, they're trying to play these internally volatile but outwardly awkward and stoic characters. So are they acting poorly? Or is it just a manifestation of the character that they are portraying? Maybe that's exactly what they're going for, which is high-level acting. So let's be careful with that as well. Let's keep going.
Of them all.
The queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
So that was one. I'll stop it there. A lot of people were making fun of the flee into the woods comment that he made, that somehow that wasn't, I don't know, aggressive enough or what. Like that is lore. The huntsman tells her to flee into the woods. But if I go back to the actual Grimm fairy tale, he said, he took pity on her. He said, "Run away, you poor child." He thought the wild animals would soon devour you anyway. Then a young boar came running by. He killed it, cut out its lungs and liver, took them back to the queen as proof of Snow White's death. She cooked them and ate them, supposing she had eaten Snow White's lungs and liver. Do you guys remember that in the 1937 cartoon? No? No. See, we adapted it, right? To make it more family friendly for the times. So let's be careful there. All right, let's keep going. March 21st.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place.
Oh my god. Whoa, it's supposed to be live action, but they didn't use all live animals? They CIG'd some animals in?
Anybody here?
Guys, do you know the amount of labor and it would take to actually like live action a lot of these animals? You could train a lot of these animals, the squirrels, the chipmunks, the birds, maybe deer. You could train a lot of it to do a lot of the stuff in the movies, but is that really what we're going for? Like, I know we say live action, but there's a lot of CIG in most live action stuff we watch, right? So is that really a bad thing? Seems kind of like a magical place to me. I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty cool. Keep going. Thick music in the background. Gotta like that. Love that. Oh, the dwarves. Okay, the dwarves. I know that's something that always came up. So Peter Dinklage pointed out about the stereotyping of dwarves and how they're portrayed in films and how their roles are created. And Disney decided to make a shift partially based on those comments. And there was all this outrage that Disney would go about doing that. Disney decided to take a chance. They decided to listen. They decided to use a layer of kindness. They decided, they try new things. And someone pointed out too, like, why is there an age gap when you look at the dwarves? Like, there's a lot of old ones, and then the young one that looks little. That's dopey. Even if you go back to the 1937 cartoon, he looks significantly younger. Like, I feel like there was a lot of pushback on how bad the CIG dwarves look. I think they look pretty spot on to me. I think it looks pretty cool. I can tell who Doc is. I can tell who Dopey is, and the rest of them I never really could figure out unless I seen or heard them behave for a period of time. I don't know. I thought the dwarves looked pretty good to me.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
Ghost.
You'll be safe from the queen.
I hope they do that song. I hope they
Queen
crush
stole
it.
everything
And I do
from
hope they
all
keep
of
it
us.
kind of traditional. I don't know if they learn it.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
Waiting on a wish, holding out for someday.
All right, so she's going to burst into songs. Maybe if I pause it, they won't get mad at me. Are the songs going to be as good? No, that's not the point. The 1937 songs are iconic, and we remember them, and it's great. And the hi-ho, like, we all still sing it, right, when we're outside doing stuff. Are these songs going to meet that standard? Probably not. But remove that standard. Just go into it and enjoy the film. Right? It's just a new Snow White movie. She's going to sing new songs. She's got a decent voice. They said they took out Gal Gadot's singing from the trailer because they thought she couldn't sing as well. What are they going for? She has a different voice. She has a different timbre to her voice. I don't know what she's singing. She's also singing as a wicked stepmother or possibly an old lady. Who knows? Right? I'm cool with it. Let her go. Let the girl sing. Keep going. Oh, I gotta pause it. The classic story, right? Remember, the classic story, right? Let me take you back, because people were saying that they were offended because this was a feminist movie, because they're not talking about the love story as much, right? Because Rachel said that the prince isn't going to come and save the day and sweep her off her feet and all that stuff. So if we go back to the original, let's do that, because that's what everybody's worried about. Go back. So in the Grimm fairy tales, she bites the apple, right? Goes into the coma sleep thing. The dwarves put her in a coffin and don't feel like they can bury her. And the prince does come, and he's trying to find her. And the dwarves felt pity for the prince, and so they gave him the coffin, right? The prince had his servants carry it away on their shoulders, but when it happened, one of them stumbled on some brush. This dislodged from Snow White's throat the piece of poisoned apple that she had bitten off. Not long afterwards, she opened her eyes, lifted the lid of the coffin, sat up, and was alive again. You mean it wasn't true love's first kiss? No, not the original, right? And then Disney decided, let's move the needle on that, because these Grimm fairy tales are much darker. I can tell you guys how it ends in a minute. It ends a lot darker than the 1937 cartoon, and I can promise you it ends darker than this film is going to. So
Find Snow White.
So I believe this is a scene from the dwarves in the iron mine where they go mining in every day. One of the things that was pointed out was that as part of this feminist leader movement, that Snow White speaks to the dwarves in a different way, right? That she tells them what to do. In the cartoon, she sounded more motherly. In the in this adaptation, she's like pushing them a little more, like telling them what to do. So again, let's go back to the original. She felt really bad. Right, so she meets the dwarf, she feels really bad, she tells them what happened, she ran away, somebody's trying to kill her, and the dwarf said, if you keep house for us, cook, make beds, wash, sew, knit, and keep everything clean and orderly, you can stay with us, and you shall have everything you want. Snow White said, yes, with all my heart. So she kept the house for them. Every morning they went into the mountains looking for ore and gold, and in the evening when they came back home, their meal had been ready. During the day, the girl was alone. So, like traditional housewife kind of duties, right? And then in the cartoon version, that we switched that to motherly, right? Because we don't really like the stereotype that presents, and now we're moving it into being a little bit more of a leader because she realizes that she needs to go take over the queen and actually take over the kingdom, because she notices that the queen is starting to wreak havoc on the entire kingdom, and she feels a responsibility for that. So, seems pretty good idea to me, right? That she would do that. All right, that was obviously Grumpy, right? We know that from his expression. And that was obviously a live squirrel that folded his arms and looked like that, right? That's how that works. In theaters, March 21st. Please don't copyright me, Disney. I'm supporting you. All right, so how does the original story end, right? Let's go back. Is it that great love story that we were talking about? I just, since the trailer's over, I told you I'd tell you. So there's a wedding. The queen finds out. She goes to the mirror, learns she's not the fairest of them all, right? We're all caught up. She didn't want to go to the wedding, but she found no peace. She had to go and see the young queen, talking about Snow White. When she arrived, she recognized Snow White, and terrorized, she could only stand there without moving. Then they, I don't know who they is, I guess it's the kingdom, they put a pair of iron shoes into burning coals. They were brought forth with tongs and placed before her. She was forced to step into the red-hot shoes and dance until she fell down dead. The end. We move the narrative as Disney, right? As we find it culturally appropriate. So I think it's going to be a really good film. I'm excited about it. I think everything looks great. I mean, I'm excited. If you want to go enjoy the film, you're going to go enjoy the film. If you don't want to go enjoy the film, don't go enjoy it. Move on. Go find something else. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys are having a great day.